could be not. Hello, hello. Where's my volumes? Volumes? What is recording? This is okay, good. Everything kept its settings. I'm happy with that. After some mucking about with a Tasco USB microscope, it kind of works in Linux if you can get your timing right. What you're looking at right here is a trace that I've cut out on pin 27 on a Realtek TV dongle. I'll zoom out here in a second, but it's going to bounce around. I just kind of wanted to... We'll hit the lights here. There we go. So you can kind of see that the trace has been sliced out. What this pin does is when it's high, the 1.2 volt regulator on this chip over here is enabled. When it's low or over the ground, which I'm going to do shortly, I'd already done this, but you can still see the traces there. And if you try to do this, you're going to short 3.3 to ground. So not a good idea. This trace has to go, and then you can run this over to ground, and then you can do what you want about a voltage regulator. If 3 diodes is going to work for you, that works for you. It was kind of shaky, and it was a little bit lower than 2 volts for me. So 10x here, we can kind of see where I'm at. So this is the trace that was cut right here. The 3.3 I think ends up in here as well, and I think this is the 1.2 out goes across. Yeah, there's a buck converter or something. I don't know what's going on in there, but there was an inductor that's here. Guys will take 3 diodes. If I can move this around. The other side here. So I've got 1117 in there, but here. So basically, guys, we'll go from this spot over here over to here with 1.2 volts, taking the 3.3 volt line down with 3 diodes, and yeah, it was dropping just below the point where the chip didn't want to talk to me anymore. So it's right on the edge with those 3 diodes. So if you can, there's all kinds of these things on boards, old boards. Look at old video cards and stuff like that. You'll find all kinds of these little voltage regulators. But then you just probably need depending on what you can find. If you can find one that's actually 1.2 volts, then just pop her in there. Maybe some smoothing capacitors, that kind of stuff. But go back to 60. Let's see if we can find it. Probably not. I'll have to go back to 10x. But I just kind of wanted to show there's not a whole, there's a few pictures in the Japanese guy's little article there. Where are we here? I think I'm close there. Yeah, I'm close. There it is. So we'll see if I can bump this down or up a bit. Yeah, there we go. So I just took a razor blade, just a sharp point, and gouged that out. Touched there a little bit, but if we saw it in the beginning there, that trace is still good, and it runs both ways there. So I don't think I'm gonna worry about that too much. What I need to do is get another wire back in there, and I'll see if I can slide this forward a little bit more. I'm going to do this live, but I may end up doing this live. See how horribly I can solder right now. Okay, tiny stuff. So first thing to do is get a little bit of mod wire positioned in there. I think I'm going to attack it this way. Nor like the mod chip guys and stuff, they'll go from the top of the chip down. And that's really nice, but I don't have that luxury with the microscope right now, because this is just a cheap little microscope. And it's a little laggy on the camera too. So I don't want to re-bridge that jump, so right there looks kind of decent. See if I can hold that still and tack it. I think I missed. Oh, I got her, didn't I? Yeah, I got it. First time's a charm. Okay, so let's take a closer look at that if we can. 10x. I think I got it. So really, if you try to do this without a microscope, I spent the last day and a half trying. I'll tell you that much. But part of it was that trace. I would get the pin right. I'd go look in some really bright light, and it looked like it was there. And you plug it in, and that 3.3 volt regulator get real hot real quick. So yeah, that trace was a bit of an unknown. Nothing's really mentioned about that trace in the documents and the articles that I've seen about it. So hopefully this video kind of explains that a little bit. But yeah, pin number 27. We're gonna run this other hunk of the mod wire just probably around to see if I can back out to 60 or something. So there, I'll use the mouse. You can see that. So basically, we'll just run it probably back around here, back around to this cap here. That's what the Japanese guy had done. You want to keep all your wires like that as short as possible. And yeah. So hopefully, I'm gonna double check on that edge, because just where I cut that trace, you can kind of see it there, I think. I don't know if it's touching or I'm going to have an issue. There's the mod wire. I think I'll be okay, but yeah, I think I'll be okay. I'll see if it's shortened to 3.3 and we'll find out real quick. So, just for anybody who's doing modifications to these dongles, if you're trying to do the 1.2 volt mod, you got a trace to cut first. Right here, under there. And then you can run your wire. And then you can do your voltage regulator. There's no point in doing this voltage regulator until you disable the switching in here. So basically the whole point is there's a switching regulator in here which creates a bunch of noise. And if you put a linear regulator in, you should hope to eliminate a bunch of that extra noise. But we'll see what happens. Finish soldering up some stuff and see if it works.